Hey guys, hope you're having a great day. My name's Don. Welcome to my channel. On this channel, I like to talk about fishing, primarily bass fishing, but from time to time I get kind of off the subject and talk about all kinds of fishing or anything related to fishing. But today I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I was out in the garage last couple hours and I was moving some things around and like everybody, I've got so damn much stuff in the garage. I can't hardly move when I'm out there. And I try not to collect more stuff, but I just seem to get more and more stuff every time I turn around. One of the things that I have, and really the subject of this video, is I have a bunch of tackle boxes. Now, I'm not talking about you know, the little tackle boxes that you might buy for kids, or I have some of those. As a matter of fact, I have six of them. They're not very big. They have one tray, and I have them for a reason. I actually use them, but I have one set up for bluegills, one set up for catfish, one set up for shiner fishing, one set up for crappies. I have a little travel box that I keep in the truck with me. Just got a selection of different types of bass fishing lures. Not a lot of them, but just a few. So these little tackle boxes come in handy. But when's the last time that you actually used one, um, while you're fishing out of a boat? I mean, I must have, I don't even know, maybe 70 or 80, maybe 100 plastic boxes. I've been putting things in plastic boxes for the last 25 years. I have so many that I've stacked them up in my garage. I have some shelves that I built, and I just have row after row after row. Most of it's plastics. Most of it's plastic worms. Worms that I bought years ago thinking I needed them. And for whatever reason, I just never used them. But the tackle boxes, the actual tackle boxes that were so popular 25, 30, 35, 40 years ago, I have those. I've just pretty much emptied them out because I just don't use them anymore. I've actually tried to sell a few of them on eBay. The problem is they're so big and so bulky that the shipping cost it's just out of sight. And you probably know the ones I'm talking about. I'm talking about the big Kennedy tackle box. It's really probably a toolbox, but it's a big one. They make quite a variety of them, but I have two or three of the biggest ones they make. And typically you open them up and they've got, three trays on each side. So they're a very large tackle box. They're also heavy. Once you fill those tackle boxes with lures, they can easily weigh 20 or 30 pounds. And that's a lot to lug around. It's also a bit of a challenge when you've got them in the boat. They're just so big. And once they fold out, they're even bigger. But I also have some Umpqos. And if you remember the old Umpqo, particularly the possum belly, this thing was a monster. This thing was so big. I don't even remember. I've got three or four of them, and they just take up a lot of space in my garage. But I think they had either three or four trays on each side when they folded it out. And I think one side was kind of geared to bait casting lures. The other side was geared more towards smaller lures, maybe spinning type lures. The bottom was huge, cavernous. I mean, you could carry all kinds of extras, plastic boxes, everything else. But then what made it unique was that it actually had another box attached to the very bottom. And that's what they call the possum belly. And you could use that for additional storage. I used to keep a bunch of extra reels in there, some fishing line. It's large enough you can even keep a line winder, but I mean, there's a lot of room in there. But other people have used it for a cooler. Throw some ice in there, some soft drinks. There's a wide variety of things you can use it for, but it just makes this tackle box gigantic. And again, I can remember going way back. I can remember having a tackle box or having an Umco tackle box like this and using it in my boat. And I mean, I was constantly tripping over it, leaving it open. Uh, it was just so big. By the time you opened it up, it was probably 3.5, 4 feet across. And I mean, you couldn't even walk around it. It was so big. And so what's happened in many cases, certainly in mine, is we've replaced the tackle box with plastic boxes and even bags. Um, I recently bought some bags. They're not really bags; they're more like a pouch. And I'm sure you've probably seen them already. They offered some great deals on them. I don't remember who it was that was selling them, but they actually have two zippers on the top with a plastic cover, and they're perfect for holding plastic worms that are still in the bag that you bought them in. I mean, you can probably get 25, 30 bags of plastic worms in there, and they're much handier than a tackle box. I actually like them better than plastic boxes because you can keep the worms in the original bags they came in, which is probably much better in the long run. I have so many that I took out of the plastic bags that now if I make any attempt at all to try to sell them, I don't even know what they are. I mean, there's so many different ones. And I certainly don't know the colors because who knows what they called them, back in the day. But these big tackle boxes are really a thing of the past. And I got to tell you, whether you're using the type of pouch, I guess that's what I would call it, whether you're using a pouch or you're using now they have large, they're not plastic. Well, I guess they are plastic, but they're very heavy duty plastic bags, and you can stuff all kinds of stuff in there. Lures that are still in the box and plastic worms still in the bag they came in, hooks that are still in the packages they came in. I have two or three of those pretty good sized bags, and I can keep those in different places in the boat just in case I'm looking for something special that I don't currently have readily available. But I got to tell you, my boat has plenty of room. I've got 4 or 5 different storage compartments. I use one of them for fishing rods, which I don't really need. I could easily use it just for more of these plastic tackle boxes. But the one thing I don't need is a fishing tackle box, or at least fishing out of a boat. I don't really need the fishing tackle box. So again, I'm curious how many of you out there actually use tackle boxes anymore, whether there's any demand at all for them, or if they're just such a thing of the past that they've been completely replaced with plastic boxes that fit neatly in our boats. So anyway, that's my thoughts. I'd be interested to hear what you've got to say. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, and if you can, leave a few comments and like my channel. I got plenty more coming, and I think you'll enjoy some of the things I'm going to talk about in the future. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a great day.